My husband's GF lives with us and they want to do this forever. Hi everyone. So my husband, M33, and I, F34, have been together for 12 years and married for 7. We also have a kid who is 2. My husband has been open about the fact that some of his previous relationships were poly, and we have always been open to general ethical non-monogamy. For example, we used to go to sex parties together and other examples. Fast forward to about 6 months ago when a friend of his came to the end of her marriage and quite urgently needed somewhere to stay, so we took her in. That was all well and good at first and they were very close, but so were the 3 of us. There were nights when we all slept in the same bed because she couldn't face sleeping on her own. There were also nights when my husband slept in the bed with her at my suggestion because again she couldn't handle sleeping alone, but I struggled to share a bed with 3 of us just because of space. However, the topic of poly did come up a bit further down the line as a genuine option, and so they started spending every Friday night together, and honestly I was and am genuinely happy with this. This started as a nominally FWB thing but naturally progressed into a relationship. I honestly don't think I have any issue with him seeing her, but the problem I am facing is that they want to live as a 3 forever. Get a bigger house and do this permanently, and I can't tell you why, but I'm really uncomfortable about permanently sharing my space like this. On the other hand, my husband's mental health has always been really bad, but since my meta has lived here and there have been more of us around, it has been a lot better, so I really don't want to take this away from him. Really don't want to. So I have to find some way towards happiness for myself in this. Even though I work from home and they both work out of the house, I never feel like I'm on my own anymore somehow, because wherever I look there are reminders that it's the 3 of us now, so I just feel permanently not at ease in my own home and I don't know how to get past that. Also, she really wants us to move house so that we can have somewhere bigger, but also so that it doesn't feel like our house that she's then living in rather than something we share as equals. And I really don't want to transition to having potentially less time with my husband than I do now. At the moment he's in my bed 4 nights a week, in her bed for 2 nights, and then we share the bed one night, all 3 of us. We bought a bigger bed so we could do this. It has to be said I really like my meta a lot of the time, and one of my hopes is that if she and I work on our relationship and get closer, this will get easier for me. But at the moment I'm losing the home I thought I would grow old in, and I am worried I am losing half my husband. I don't know what I am looking for, but I am so worried right now. Sharp comment 1. I can't tell you why, but I'm really uncomfortable about permanently sharing my space like this. Not that you need a reason for not having someone else move into your home, but unless I'm reading things wrong, it seems they kind of assumed it'd happen instead of asking how you'd feel about a roommate. This also doesn't seem like a good idea anyways. They've only been together for a short time, so not only would moving not be sound, but she just got out of a marriage. If you're worried about your husband needing to split time between you 2, that is a reality of having multiple relationships. Is that something you feel you'd be okay with? Because this all just seemed to happen, and I'm wondering if you ever had the time to truly consider if this is right for you? I'm under a lot of pressure to make this work for me. My husband has not ever been truly happy in a long while, and having both of us around has transformed his mental health. I've expressed my worry that just swapping around which of us is unhappy isn't progress, even acknowledging that I'm not as unhappy as he was, but long term, might I be? But there doesn't seem to be a middle ground he can consider. I'm hoping some support from a poly-friendly therapist will help us to articulate our needs and find a workable middle ground. Sharp comment 2. Your husband's happiness shouldn't be so dependent on everyone cohabiting TBH. Of course he's happy right now. Him lending a friend a helping hand out of their marriage ended up with him having a live-in girlfriend with his wife's permission. Not that he shouldn't rely on those close to him, I have mental issues myself, but it's not your or your meta's job to keep him well. Especially when it's at the cost of your happiness. A good husband, partner, person would understand that, depressed or not. Also, neither of you should be playing the oppression Olympics, not the most apt term but no. Don't think about who's less happy than the other. Your husband's mental health needs treatment, not another partner in a complex and unplanned living situation. At the end of the day, it's the home you share with your husband and your child. This should always be a 2 yes, 1 no sort of situation. You have the right to choose who lives with you. I have really tried, but he's very clear that this is absolutely what he has needed for a long time, not just being poly, fine, but also us all living together. I think I've at least got across my very strong reservations, and we are now going to try putting everything we have into how we can genuinely make this work, seeing a poly-friendly therapist together, as a 3 as well as in our various pairs including me and my meta, and doing the work to find a balance of together and separate bits of life that actually works for us. Update. Cohabiting just got harder and harder, and I was getting less and less of my husband's love, attention and even compassion. Friend then bought a house and husband was going to love there too, then 3, then even 5 nights a week. Nothing I said was right anymore. I was the villain, apparently uncompassionate, selfish, a bad communicator, not seeing it from husband's or friend's point of view. Increasingly excluded in my own life. And unsurprisingly, about 6 weeks ago, husband ended our marriage, ostensibly for other reasons about our relationship, but it may surprise you not at all to learn that he is now moving in with friend in the house she has bought, and that I am not now on speaking terms with her at all after some increasingly manipulative behavior from both of them, but especially her. Update 2. In the end my husband broke up with me ostensibly not because of me not wanting to be poly, but I mean it absolutely was that. His GF is hugely manipulative and had swung him from being deeply in love with me to completely not and thinking I'm a terrible person within the space of a year. I've got my faults to be sure, but I didn't deserve any of this. I've been doing a lot of work on myself to identify and understand what happened to me and the way they abused and manipulated me. Part of me is also concerned that the GF is also effectively doing the same to my ex, but that's his problem, not mine. I've recently met the GF's monogamous ex and that's been eye-opening. It feels like she's got a playbook. She's treated her ex badly and did similar to me and debatably to my ex. My ex has also been quite controlling over the years. I'm so much healthier out of this situation and it's better for me. I'm heartbroken for losing what I thought was a happy marriage and for being so disillusioned about what I thought we had. This has really pulled the wool from my eyes. And it's awful being away from my very small kids half the time. I'm hyper-vigilant about their welfare and I'm so worried for them, but they seem to be okay. In short, I have to accept that some of you are happy and healthy in good poly relationships. But if that's not your experience, if it's being used by your partner or their partner to have their cake and eat it, if you're not happy, listen to your gut, to your heart, to your friends. Get out. The sooner you escape, the less I hope you might get hurt. Honest comment. I'm sorry you were treated that way. Out of curiosity, when folks told you on that post that this wasn't a good idea, and that your situation didn't seem healthy and sustainable, did that help or hurt? Did you feel like all the happily polyam people telling you that this had red flags prepared you for the end? I ask because I want this sub to be as helpful to folks like you as possible, and wonder what we could be doing better. I think it helped. It started to validate for me that the way I was feeling was okay, that I wasn't wrong to feel like this wasn't working. What I couldn't do was address that in a way that my ex or his GF would ever be equipped to listen to. They couldn't and still can't see the impact of their actions or understand that they've done anything wrong. I think Reddit posts advising caution, rather than straight up, leave him now, were the most helpful. Those that came alongside me and engaged with what I was experiencing and feeling. So that sounds really difficult, and I'm wondering if you have realized that some of these are big red flags, such as responses that were nuanced. But nothing in the known universe is going to make someone like my ex or his GF listen when they don't want to. So nothing in the comment section could have changed anything, but it did really help to feel less like I was losing my mind and less like I was on my own. Thank you.